What's up, beautiful people, to another episode of the Rickey Jones Jr. podcast. It's me, Rickey Jones Jr., and I am also excited today because not only are we going to have a phenomenal episode, okay, the interview that will be taking place today, it's going to be awesome. And I just love the thread of fatherhood and everything and all the dynamics. But not to talk too much about that, let's do our shout out. As you know, we like to do shout outs for people that do comment in the comment section on YouTube and things like that. But then also just for those that support, right? There are some people that don't comment, but that reach out to me, be it through messages or when they see me in person. It just lets me know how beneficial this podcast has been for them. So this one goes to a commenter, which happens to be my cousin, mama friend. Okay, Javon McDonald. Shouts out to you, my sister, my mama, my cousin, my friend. She played all those different roles in my life. So that's why I give her all of those different connotations and, references. But nonetheless, shouts out to you. Thank you for the support in which you have given me throughout my life, but then also as well on this here podcast. I greatly appreciate you, as well as those as well that support and all those good stuff. Share, let me know, all those different things that you can do to show your support. I appreciate you all. I mean, those things go a long way. So with that being said, let me just share a little something real quick before we get into the interview. And it happens to be around fathering, right? And fatherhood. It happens to be Fatherhood Month, as I deemed it and coined it. And it happens to do with summertime, right? It's summertime, ladies and gentlemen. For those that don't know, for those that don't have kids, that means something totally different than it does when it's not summertime, because the kids are in school and there's a rotation. There is a regimen, a schedule in which you're used to and accustomed to living out. However, during the summertime, things get twisted. Things get changed up. My kids happen to now be in summer camps and things like that, and but outside of that, right, that's neither here nor there. What the part I want to talk to you all about is like praying for me, because now my kids, they enjoy now being away more than they do being at home. Now that is a thing usually, whether it's school in or school out, but I just feel like every time I come home, they're talking about where they're about to go. And then they're also soon to go to their grandparents' house for a whole month and some change. So it's just different, right? You get used to making noises and hearing noises in the house and things like that the kids bring, but they're going to be gone. So salute to all the parents out there this summertime. I know food is being eaten faster at an all-time rate. I know kids are doing things that they usually don't do. They're there more often than they may be usually and things like that. So all those things culminate to an idea of like, oh, snap. I'm dealing with something new. I'm going through something new. And the things that I'm going through, I'm not going to call it separation anxiety, because that's not what it is. But it's just the thought that they value other places where they value the place in which we've attempted to establish and build for them. But it's okay. More houses, better houses, bigger houses are to come. So maybe because Rain does want a pool in her home. So, that's on her bucket list and she shares it with us often. So, hey, that'll be what's next. But nonetheless, in it all, I just had to share that because, it's real. And you may be going through it, or, somebody who is. Reach out to them, check on them, pray for them, let them know that you're thinking about them. Because summertime is real. These 2 months and some change are some real months for parents. But nonetheless, in it all, we're going to go ahead and get into the next interview for this month. I'm also excited about this gentleman sharing his story, letting people know about him, allowing you all to hear his voice, and just allowing for that to travel all around the world is the goal behind this here interview. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get over to today's interview. Yeah. All right, great people. So now we are here with another interview, which I'm also excited about. And I know you all will be inspired and encouraged as well, with the goal of this month being to highlight fathers that are inspirational, and fathers that I even watch and learn from a distance. And sometimes even in conversation, I get to ask certain things and things like that. But I'm not going to say too much because this brother has enough to say. He is a father of 4 at the age of 29. Yep. 29 years old, father of 4, from 8 years old to 5 years old. So I'm sure right now and then and there, you're already captivated, like, what in the world? But we're going to get there. But this is my friend Javon. He is a great man of God. I will say that. We go to church together. We work together, similar to Wood, like on Tuesday. But outside of those things, he's also a businessman. He's a DJ. He's a producer. He has music out, which we're going to talk about, all those different things like that. And he's doing it all and doing it well, and great things are in store. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce Mr. Javon JT, or introduce yourself. What do you go by? What do you want the people to call you?
You know, a lot of people call me JT.
Okay. Like myself.
Yep. If you knew me from back in high school, you still call me Javon.
Okay.
Unless you went to Hillsboro, then during football time it was Weezy. Back when I had dreads.
Wow. Okay.
You know?
Okay. Gotcha. Now, what position did you play in football?
DB.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my,
various dynamics. And
yeah.
so, if you know Weezy, it's like, oh snap, this is a football player.
Yeah.
Somebody knew me in football days. Javon is okay. I like that.
Yep.
I'm like that too. I got many names for the various stages in life, so I get it. I get it. I'm there. But the funny thing is about JT, I know him as Jay-Z, so obviously I came later in life. But the funny thing about JT is like naturally he's uber quiet. So when I met him, I was like, okay, who's this young kid? Like he's just quiet, does his thing, keep his head down about his business. However, when he gets on stage or if he DJing or something, it's like a whole new person, which I'm like, this is hilarious, because I say that because I love talking and being on stage and things like that. So to see him is like a burst of energy just comes out. So if you know him, you already know what I'm talking about. But nonetheless, we're going to get to know him. And even just talking about fatherhood, right? So I'm going to just, fatherhood is June 19th. However, this is just the month of fatherhood at the end of the day, if you look at it my way. And so I just even want to break down the different aspects of fatherhood, and all the different things and ways in which you address it, right?
Yeah.
But even before we get there, you're a man first.
Yes.
Right? So what would you say, it makes you a father, right? But what would you say are some of the things that you live by as a man, as a male today?
Today, I would definitely say, first thing first is to be consistent. Be consistent.
I love it.
And who you are.
Yep.
A lot of things are going to detach you from it, but finding some type of consistency, rhythm in yourself. Also, something that I would say it's what I live by, but I don't always practice because I'm not 100%.
Yeah.
Being a man of your word. And that's from anybody, from my kids to anybody. If you're going to say you're going to do something, make sure you follow through.
Respect. Respect.
So that's definitely something I live by. And then just loyalty. I think loyalty is everything.
Yeah. Now, what would you say you learned those things from?
I would definitely say it's from the individuals that I've had in my life. From my dad, I definitely seen him loyal to the church, from the vision,
right?
Staying loyal to my mom, loyal to his creative bent, which is music as well. Like encountering from being a man of your word. Even then, he also he kept his promises. Yeah, it might be delayed from my timeline, but
he came through.
He still came through. Yeah. And then obviously like great mentors along the way with like Pastor T. Him saying, "Hey, I'm gonna be at this event," and he actually being at that event. Like seeing stuff like that really helped shape me. And then also just being consistent. I mean, that's going to be from everybody I kind of had in the circle of my life. From the Gamages, who's always been there, the Pastor T's, Pastor Adrian.
You naming some heavy hitters.
Right.
High quality people.
Underwood, I know you just had him.
Right.
Like from him being with the marching band, like I was part of the marching band, like that. I've seen consistent people. Pastor Poe, Pastor Brian. Yeah. Like Pastor Brian took me under his wing. So like him being consistent and me just putting value and time in myself, like that, I was like, okay, so these are some definitely good pillars to live by. Yeah.
Now you said something, I didn't realize that your dad was into music. So obviously I didn't grow up here in Tampa and things like that, so I didn't get a chance to get to know your dad as he was doing all he was doing at the church. But what musically was he into, or is he into?
So he's more on the management side of things. So he would manage, me growing up, he was managing different artists. He started off with like this, I won't say he started off, but what I can remember, there was this R&B group that he managed, and they were doing very well, but like R&B groups from back in the day, it's always some type of fight,
some drama.
Hello, how many
people was in the group?
from believe it's either like 4 or 6. So yeah,
when it's over 3, it gets difficult.
Yeah, it's crazy. And the crazy story that he tells me all the time, like, he's like, you don't understand how close we were. Like, the week after they broke up was the week that Capitol Record called, asking for them to come up. And I was like, oh, so my life could have been completely changed.
Completely different. It would have been different at Capitol Records. Wow.
I was like,
wow. The week after.
The week after. Wow. I was like, yeah.
But that shows you to be consistent.
Yeah.
It's a reminder. Okay, so he was on the management side. Gotcha.
Yeah. But he started off, he played guitar.
Okay.
So that's kind of like him being his creative bent. And when coming to find out, like now as I got older, I'm kind of understanding, even like my granddad, which I didn't know until like maybe a few months ago, that my granddad played the piano. I was like, oh, okay, so this is really
there's a thread. Wow. Grandfather on the piano, dad on the guitar, you on the drums.
Yep.
And do you play anything else?
Nope. I mean, I did play the clarinet when I was in 6th grade.
Gotcha.
You know? I quickly switched to percussion.
There it is.
You know? I only played it because I had to.
Okay.
They wouldn't let 6th graders in percussion.
Gotcha. Right. So you had to play something.
Yep.
Okay. So the consistency, being a man of your word, but even seeing those examples in your life has shaped you to be who you are. Okay. Now, if there were, like you said, you were raised by your dad, you know, still have a good relationship with your father. What are some things there that you've experienced and or learned with him that you still hold true to today?
I mean, I would definitely say with my dad is being present. Okay. And even seeing like his presence in my kids' lives. Like he's an active grandfather. I mean, he's definitely around them a lot. Yeah. But he's an active grandfather, and being present is everything. And I'm starting to see that in like the adult life when you start to recognize people who hasn't had their father in their lives. Correct. And then
it's noticeable on men and the women's side.
Right. And it's like, oh, okay. Being present is definitely there. And then also just speaking into your dreams. And so as my kids are starting to like venture out to figure out what they want to do or like what their interest is. Correct. It's like my dad never had a barrier on my love for music. He always tries to provide me with the tools to help shape whatever that is, whether that's different software, whether that's a microphone, mic stand, like teaching me how that, or taking me to a studio, always pushing me towards my creativeness.
Wow, oh, that's cool. Now, would you say that started with you, him investing in your music desires and things like that?
What you mean?
At what age were you?
That was, man, I'm trying to remember. We had a group back in the day at the church. Gotcha. Oh man,
talking about Lost Boys?
Nah,
before then.
Yeah. Wow. Woo! We were like, I'm gonna say like 7 or 8.
Wow.
Yeah, we recorded. We went to the studio with David. I don't know if you know David, King David.
The name sounds familiar, but I never met him.
So, Mr. Jerry Christmas. Yes. His brother.
Okay, gotcha.
So, my dad managed his brother at the time. And back in the day, wow, this seems like such a long time ago.
So probably not that far. Not that couple decades.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, definitely a couple decades. We used to just write some music back in the day, and oh man, it's terrible. It's terrible.
I mean, you was trying. You was starting.
We were trying. Right.
7 years old.
Right. And my dad was like, "Yeah, let's go ahead and like record it." When we writ the music or written the actual lyrics, it wasn't to a beat. So we had to go in and try to like
make it flow. Wow.
Oh man.
Okay.
The chalkiness of everything was crazy. Okay. But I would say that was probably like 7 or 8 when he took me to the studio for the first time to record. Now he took me to the studio back when I was like a baby. He was doing some recording at Dallas Austin's studio.
Gotcha. Where at?
In Atlanta.
Okay.
And he had took me there when I was a baby.
Wow. I have an idea of where it is, if it's still where I think it is. But no, that's cool. That's cool. So you still remember the studio experience? Did you meet Dallas Austin?
I don't remember because that was...
You said baby, right? I was just trying to get there.
Now I remember. I was like, oh man, that's cool.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So it started back then, right? But then those things in which you experienced with him, as well as others, provided the structure, you would say, to be the man that you are right now.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. Now, do you have any relationship with your grandfather other than knowing that he played the piano, or did you all have any interactions?
Not on the creative side. My granddad, when I was younger, we definitely was a lot closer. He would always take me bowling.
Okay.
So he had like he has a love for bowling, and he would always take
He's
me
still
bowling.
alive?
He is.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's rare.
So he has a love for bowling. So I never talked to him on the creative side. Like I just found that out. I'm like, oh, now this is making more sense.
Yeah.
As I got older, I don't talk to him as much now.
Yeah.
But he will also. I mean, so another one of my passions is obviously grilling.
Okay.
And
I mean, you say obviously, like the people know that you are out here grilling. Like, how is it so obvious? Like, what are you doing?
If you follow me on Instagram, you're gonna see a reel.
We're gonna drop all of those.
I need to probably do another one soon.
Okay.
But
we're gonna drop all the links in the description. Don't you worry.
But he had a love for bowling, but he was also in culinary. So he was a culinary aide in the Air Force.
Nice.
So when he retired from the Air Force, he still kept that up. He had like a whole catering business. Wow. He had a family catering business.
Wow. In Tampa.
Wow. So he would do all types of like weddings, parties. So not only does he cook, but he also bakes. Most people only like do one bit.
That's very true.
But he
can do both.
He does both.
Wow.
So I would say like.
So you picked that up.
I picked that up.
Okay.
But just the grilling part.
Yeah. Not the baking.
Nah.
Not yet.
I don't think it's going to get there.
Okay.
But I feel like grilling is already enough with your patience.
Very true.
Baking, I feel like it's a whole different type of patience.
It is. But at least you can kind of like set it and forget it type situation. Grilling, true. You have to like cook it and watch it and tend to it and base it and
But I feel like so with grilling, it's also like you kind of releasing your mind.
Okay. Why are you out there?
Well, you out there. Like you just... It's just one of them like free spaces.
Which he has music about that. But we're going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about that right now. But I think last question I want to even ask in this type area is, what is something that you know of in your father that you now embody and something that you want to continue on? Like what's a trait?
I would say just go getter.
Gotcha.
Like, he's gonna figure it out. He's gonna consult God first and figure it out after that. Like that's one thing. Through the many ups and downs we've had as a family, like that's the consistency that I've seen is that he gonna consult God and then go figure it out.
Yeah. Now you lightly talked about your faith and going to the church and things like that, but you've pretty much been in church all your life.
All my life.
Every Village Youth Ministries.
Yep.
And you've been through all the various stages as far as like the children ministry, middle, high, all of that. Now you're on the adult side, and even teaching the youth and things like that. So, okay. No, that's cool. That's cool. I love that. Okay. So we're going to switch over to the idea of you being a father, right?
Yes.
Which I said in the beginning, you are a father of 4 at the age of 29 with the ages of 8 to 5. How did that happen?
You know, some days. And
I got this to start. You know, some days.
Some days, you know, there's a thought that always comes across my mind. Like,
I'm listening.
Should I pull it out? But no, I'm just like...
Truth be true at the end of the day.
Truth be told. But nah, like... Truth be told,
but you were married, so that's the key thing, right? We're gonna make sure that is it wasn't willy-nilly. I was 14,
No.
No.
One mother for all for our children.
Boom chocolate.
So we were married, and it was just 18 months apart from each.
Wow.
And we had a set of twins to end it off.
Gotcha. So 8 years old and then 18 months. The next 18 months, twins.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. So what do you have? What is it?
So I have, my oldest is a boy.
Gotcha.
My second oldest is a girl, and then two girl twins.
Yep. So, man, that brother has 3 girls.
3 girls.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. How is that dynamic?
So it's an interesting because it's like I feel like week to week they be different.
Okay. The girls or just them together?
All together.
Okay.
Like you be like, oh, you'll think that maybe my son, my oldest daughter, which her name is Zara, you think like they're the closest, like they're close. But then you be like, oh no, maybe he'd be close with my youngest twin, Harmony. It's like, no, I guess I'll be like, I don't know what y'all doing.
Wow.
At this point.
Wow. Flipping like that.
Yeah, they be flipping flopping. But what I do know is when you separate them, that's the best.
All four?
I got to experience it. My sister would take like 2 sometimes. And this past weekend, she took my twins, and I had the older 2, and I was like, oh, this is a totally different dynamic.
Wow.
They actually act civilized together. Like, this makes sense. This was the stopping point. No, I'm just playing. But I love my twins.
Whatever y'all see. No, I love that. And I even now could even think of different times I've seen you at the Bucks game, because season ticket holder that you are. I see you take a child there with you, and so that even gave you opportunities to be with them. So would you say that even helps you get to spend time with them? You get to know them, or like what went into that mindset? And
that's exactly why I did it. Is so I can have more one-on-one time. Because honestly, it's at this stage right now, I feel like it's a little tough to like try to break off to have one-on-one time with all 4 of them. Just with the stage of everything from work, church, and just the other kids as well. So like the Bucks games were like that time was like, okay, let me see what you like. We were going to the game. Yeah, I love the game. Yeah, but I can spend time to talk to you, and they look forward to it. Like, yeah, I'm going, even though JR, he gets to go more times than the girls, but he knows what's going on.
I was about to say he could be more into it than the others, right?
He's a fan,
right?
He actually watches the game,
and that's what you want to support.
That's right.
And you, as a fan, want to build him up as a fan, so he don't go wayward in his ways,
right?
I dig that.
I mean, him go talking about he a Falcons fan.
I mean, that would be a wise man. I mean, he would have seen the light if he became a Falcons fan. I'm gonna just shout that out to you, sir. Junior is what I heard you. JR is what I heard him call you. Whenever you want to convert, I'm here. Them dirty birds still fly. At the end of the day, we put on a good show, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. But So yes, father and 4, man. What is it like for schoolwork? Because I have a little girl. She's just finishing kindergarten. And when I saw this school, I'm like, what in the world? Why are y'all learning this now?
Yes. So I have to individualize it. I have to literally say, okay, you go do something else while this person goes and focus on school. Then we're going to have to flip-flop. Because I tried to like bounce around all at the same time. It was, hello. Just, daddy. I'm like, nah. So. Yeah. Separation. Right now, JR, he's kind of like... Because he said he'll be going to the 3rd grade. So last year, he was able to do his own work. He didn't really need help. Zara was like, I kind of needed some help, but she pretty much knew. She's very intelligent. So she knew. She just wanted my help.
Okay, gotcha. That'd be
a thing. And I'd be like, girl, you know this work. You know how to do it. You just want me to help you with it just because. Just get the work done. It's okay. Like the quicker you get this work done, the faster you can go do something else.
Boom. Like we all can do something else, right? Ain't just you. I want to do something too. At the end of the day.
Yeah, it literally be like 2 hours of doing homework before I can like go do anything else once we get home. But with the twins, I had to like split it because either they'll like just copy each other, and I'm like, y'all not learning, right? Like. Right, y'all do this later down the line. When I'm not paying attention. Right.
Me and the teachers, like,
yeah, y'all figure that out. But right now, I'm gonna need y'all to focus. Yeah, and so learning the stuff they learning in kindergarten is like, what in the world?
It's crazy. The math, and I love math, but the math that she brought home, I was like, why are you learning this now? Like, you should be adding and pointing out numbers, like why are you doing greater than, less than, number line, and list goes on, right? But
then we got into word problems. And they had to in kindergarten.
Oh no, we didn't get that.
I was like, why are we having word problems? And they had to tell you a story and then draw out the story and then add it up. I'm like, nah,
it's getting real in these streets. Okay, so having 4, right? So do you all do things as a unit, like the 5 of you all going out and doing things like that? What is that like? Let me ask this. If you go to the mall with them and things like that, what are the looks that you get while you're out and about?
You know what? I kind of don't pay attention to the looks anymore. At this point, I felt like once me and my kid's mother, once we weren't together anymore. Yeah. I think I was more subconsciously like thinking about, okay, what is somebody gonna think? Like, what is this? And like the twins were like, they were like 1, so they were still stroller life. So I'm like, damn, I'm about to really be pushing this stroller through the mall. Right. Got the other 2 holding on to the side. It's like, But now it's more. It kind of is what it is. Yeah. Like this is reality. This is the
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
For now.
For now. I'm a strong believer in the buddy system.
Gotcha.
So
oh, that's good.
At this point, it's like, no, you take care of yours, because it's usually the older 2 paired up with a twin. I'm like, nah, you take care of them. I'm gonna be walking behind y'all. That's it. Y'all take care of them. Just kind of instilling some responsibility. Let them know,
because there's already love there. Yeah. So I mean, it's not too far fetched for them to be able to do things together, but just making sure it's enforced is what the goal is.
Yeah, the best place they love to go is Busch Gardens.
Okay.
They love Busch Gardens.
My kids too. Yep. On a regular.
Yeah. They love Busch Gardens.
You do the roller coaster? Do they do the roller coaster?
Oh, okay. I got 2 to do the roller coaster.
Oh, so you got to wait with the other 2.
Yep.
Yeah, Rickey doesn't do the roller coaster either. Yeah. He despises it. I have to show you a video on that. But okay. So now, what is it like, would you say, co-parenting, right? Obviously, that wasn't something that you went into it with the idea that you would be doing. However, it is something that you are currently doing. So how would you say that is, or, what are some learning things that you've had to do to adjust?
Communication. Communication is definitely key. I mean, I think everybody will say that. Communication with anybody, any type of relationship,
that's very true,
is key. But co-parenting is definitely a communicative thing. And I have, I think recently we have gotten back to like a good place. I can say right now, me and my kid's mother probably have the best relationship that we've had in a very long time.
Nice.
And I mean, that's definitely a credit to God, and then also us putting the work in, trying to let bygones be bygones, and just like really focused on being friends, because we felt that it was important for us to actually really truly become friends.
Gotcha.
And then also co-parent to our best ability.
Yeah. Y'all met in high school?
No, we met.
Okay.
Oh, that's a
gotcha.
whole.
Well, how old were y'all?
That's a whole story.
That's what I'm just trying to get at. How old were y'all when y'all met?
I was 19.
Okay.
19.
I mean, it's making sense, because your first came when you were 21. So okay. All right. No, I mean, just people doing math, might as well do the math for them.
Yeah.
Okay. So co-parenting definitely requires communication.
Communication.
Gotcha. And what would you say is like, I don't even want to get into it, but at the end of the day, like one of the major hurdles that you think other people that may find themselves co-parenting may face, and would you suggest for them to overcome that?
I would say the biggest thing is for you, don't think that you're gonna win every battle. Like it's not set up for that. It's not set up for you to win every. You're gonna take an L. You're gonna take an L. As long as it's not an L that compromises your values. Yeah, it's fine. At the end of the day, unless that parent is just literally just not a
good person good
parent at all, and like it's a hindrance to your child, you're gonna have to like compromise. You definitely gonna have to compromise, and I think that was the biggest key, at least for me. Like I'm like, I need it to go this way. I wanted to go this way. Like no, I need control. Nah, that wasn't it.
That wasn't it. That L had to be taken.
It had to be taken, and I definitely made moves or did things that like I just had to. And like recently, my mom even came to me. She was like you made a lot of decisions that I didn't per se rock with you, but I understood now why you did it, because I can see the relationship that's come forth from you and Ebby, like actually being able to actually work together. She's like, it wasn't what I wanted it, but it makes sense. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like I had to compromise.
Right.
And I think that's a lot with a lot of definitely, like if you're because we want to say that it's 50-50, but it's never 50-50. There's a parent that's going to be taking most of the brunt of it.
Gotcha, yeah.
And if you're that parent, it's hard for you to not compromise because you feel like, no, I'm already doing so much. Why do I need to compromise? No, you need to conform it to my ways. And it don't work that way.
Like that. Wow. That way. So, oh, that's good. That's good information because, you know, people find themselves in the situation for various reasons, but at the end of the day, you won't win them all.
Nope.
That's the moral of the story.
You won't win them all.
You won't. Now, you did talk about values. What would you say are some of the values that you're holding on to as a father that you would want your children to acknowledge one day when they talk about you?
First and foremost is my spiritual value.
Yeah.
Knowing that God is definitely the source of it all. I want you to experience God for yourself, which I know as a child that's been raised in the church, you have to come find God for yourself. Like at the end of the day, you're gonna have all the tools that you need, but you're gonna have to figure out how to use the tool. So instilling in them like God is definitely first. Secondly is finding the individuals that you can actually depend on. I think that's important. Whether that be family or friends, because I have close friends that are like, no, like this is
you can depend on them.
I can depend on them closer than some of my actual blood relatives. So like finding those, and then protecting your environment. Like you gotta protect your environment because there's so much things that try to attack you on a daily basis. So don't put yourself in a position that can be easily shaken pretty much.
All right, great people. So this video is sponsored by the DKUJ Palette and Gardening channel. Now, that YouTube channel is all about helping people garden whatever they are, be it if you have a bunch of acres or if you have a little bit of space or if you just have a patio space. We will show you, I will show you how you can garden what you want to eat, okay? So just know there's so many different things. We even have chickens on the channel as well. So if you don't know, now you know. I have a gardening YouTube channel where I build things, grow things, and show you how you could do the same things. Okay, great people? So make sure y'all go check that out. I'll put a link down below. I definitely like what you said, and even with the idea of protecting your environment, what does that mean entirely? Because I'm even thinking about social media. I'm thinking about people that you're interacting with as far as your community and things like that. But what does that mean, environment?
So for me at home, I would say for the kids, I definitely limit on what they watch.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
I'm a big I don't go to the YouTube because YouTube goes into rabbit trails.
Very true.
Kid YouTube is a little better, but they still be
You said it best, a little better.
It's a little better.
Slide through.
It slide through still. So we're still trying to maneuver around because I do understand that this is a different age because I'm like, what happened to the days going to watch Kenan and Kel? You know what I'm saying? Nickelodeon, Rugrats.
Hello, Disney or something.
Disney. Old Disney. I'm like, man, what?
No, it's different.
Now it's like, nah, man, we want to watch these folks.
Correct.
And I'm like,
real people.
Real people. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, so I'm trying to understand that. My mind is still like, nah, man.
Right.
I got Paramount Plus. They got all the Nickelodeon from olden days. Y'all can watch all these.
Like I did.
This is what I'm gonna turn on. Y'all can watch this.
Right.
But yeah, just protecting them what they watch, who they're around. I'm big on that. Definitely, that was one of the hurdles with co-parenting. Is like, okay, so who are you exactly with, and why are you? And I'm like, so it's also communicating no, this is one of my values. I need you to value this too, so that our kids are not just open to just foolishness. So that was definitely a hurdle. Yeah. And she
especially on the co-parenting side.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you don't know necessarily who when she's in their care.
Yeah.
It's you kind of got your hands off. But expressing that's the value and understanding no, this is important.
Yeah. Yeah. Now let me ask this, and you could choose to answer, or not. But have your kids ever asked why? Why aren't you and mommy together?
So they haven't asked me yet.
Okay.
But they definitely have talked to her.
Okay.
And asked her.
Wow. And she shared it with you.
She did.
Gotcha.
And she hasn't formulated
the
words yet. She kind of been thrown off. My son is a little bit more curious now.
Okay. Because he's 8.
Because he's 8.
He's aware.
Yeah, he's aware. The twins, because they were so young, they kind of only have like thoughts or through pictures. Like somehow they found wedding pictures on an old computer, and I was like,
kids are smart, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, y'all went through, huh? Okay. So they're going through that emotion. So at some point, I do want to. I'm gonna sit down with my son, like kind of just tell him, because I mean, like the last 5, it's been about 5 years. The last 5 years, it's been apart, so they know like, okay, this is mommy, this is daddy. Like, they'll see each other during the like birthdays and whatever. They'll see us together at those moments, but yeah, they haven't came to me and asked why. Gotcha. Which is interesting.
I was about to say that, like, do you even wonder why he did not come to you as opposed to going to his mom?
I do wonder why. I don't know. I'm gonna say, not to say that he's. I don't even know. I can even say he's closer to his mom.
Right.
Because a lot of times he don't even be wanting to go.
There's that, but then you even talked about you don't even know who he's close to in the house. So you know what I'm saying? There's that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
No, I dig it. You about to say something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's usually just all about, hey, so can I get this game? I'm like,
okay.
How
you doing? Right.
All right.
Okay.
Can I play your PlayStation?
No, I dig that. So, what is something that you enjoy about fatherhood that was a surprise to you?
It's the joy to see. I think the best moment is when I come home. If I don't already have them, but when I get into the house, the reaction of me being present. I think that's like, that's it. Like, I don't know. It's no better feeling. It's no better feeling. Like the joy that they have to see me is like, dang, I thought I'm just doing all right. Right. Y'all make it seem like I'm the best in the world. Like, it's crazy.
Hello. So you got 4, so I can only imagine the stampede of sound and noise that takes place when you enter.
Except for one be more standoffish. That's because she's like really close to her granddad.
Gotcha.
But she'll come by herself.
And
then she'll embrace.
It's more meaningful.
Yeah.
But it'll throw you off, right? Because, well, for me, it has thrown me off because I'll get that some days. But then some days I'll walk in and it's quiet. Like, what in the world? They watching TV or something. Like, hey, y'all. Oh, hi, Dad.
Yep.
What is this? So, if I could only, like, bottle the consistency factor to them and say, hey, do this every day. Like, I like this. You know what I'm saying? But no, I dig that. That is a good thing. So, with that being said, even like you said, one, but I'm sure other ones are as well, close to your father. How does that help in the fathering that you're doing to them than being close to your father?
I would say it's interesting because I'm like, the way he treats them was definitely different than the way that
it's consistent with grandparents.
I was like, oh, okay, so y'all just completely different. Oh, all right.
Yep.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I don't know what they...
We all feel that way. Children to our parents, how y'all treat your grandchildren as opposed to how you treat us. There's a difference. Yeah. There's a real difference. But hey, our day will come.
Yep. I guess that's just what getting older do.
That's what it does. It don't matter.
But I would say my main connection, which is still just that being present. And I think that helps a lot for them seeing their granddad. And then they even go to like my granddads. They go over there all the time.
Nice.
So for them to actually like, they consistently see their family. Which for me, I wouldn't say I'm like the most uber family person. I have my close family circle. And I don't vary out from
you have 4 right there.
Right there.
I get it.
So I got a close family circle.
Right. Mom and dad, so I get it.
But that is one that I would say I would never want to put probably like one of my flaws on them, which is like sometimes being close to my family. I could definitely be distant. But I would never want to put that on my kids.
Yeah.
And, you know, what's how you say it? Subconsciously, me not going or going over to somebody's house, like, that can automatically, like, just distance them.
Yeah.
So I would never want to do that. And I would say my parents played a great role in helping mend that bridge.
Okay.
Because they would definitely, like, take them over to events or something like that if I'm not, like, the most sociable person.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's good. That's great when you have that family dynamic as far as the parents stepping in and things like that. So, I mean, I dig that. And so even with that helping out, and even as you talked about, right, raising 4 when they're in your care requires a lot, but it's great that you do have community, you do have family around that can help and allow for you to get to spend time as necessary with them individually, right, or in pairs, which, you know, that speaks volumes, which even us, we only have 2, but quite often on the weekends we don't have them. It's largely because we have people that love them and want to be with them and always asking for them and things like that. But it helps as well. It helps and let us relax, helps us, you know, catch up on different things and do different things because we all have different things that we're doing, right? Yes. Not only do you work, but you're an entrepreneur as well. Yes. Which we're going to dive into, you know what I'm saying? That was the transition, you know, it's a segue. It's always a great segue. Yes. And so as an entrepreneur, right, you have quite a repertoire. I'm not an artist, so I don't even know what it's called. It's called a catalog. Yes. Okay, catalog. You have a wonderful catalog. Now let the people know the things that you've done with Forever Free, and the list goes on. Okay, so working with Forever Free, which is the company that me and Mark Freeman founded together. Nice. So that's shouts out to you, Mark. Yep. Great rapper. Yes, sir. Freeman. Yes. FRXXMXN. There it is. There you go. Listen, because I definitely produced tracks on several of his projects. Squad up. So that's definitely been a wonderful journey there. So you all started you said what now, called Forever Free? What is it? It's an entertainment company. Entertainment company, gotcha. Yes. Called Forever Free. So we didn't want it to pocket hold into just like a record label. Yeah. Because we believe in like more than just music. We want all artists. So all type of what else do you do? So at this moment, Forever Free Entertainment. Forever Free Entertainment, it definitely houses, as of right now, the DJ Reddtober. Nice. DJ. I can't do it because it has a DJ Reddtober. Yeah. Reddtober. Whoa. Which is actually my daughter. Nice. That does that tag for me. It's those simple touches. Yeah. Which we did that on purpose. So like the Forever Free tag is Mark's son. Nice. Who did his tag. Yeah. Yep. That's dope. And that's legacy. We want to keep it in the family. Yeah. Yep. Literally, because I mean, she could be paid every time that song goes off. So, yeah, that was definitely legacy right there. Yeah. So DJ Reddtober, and then also I won't say it's a new venture, but it's actually under it. Hasn't got fully vetted out, but there are still works in it. It's a video editing side of things. Nice. Which right now it's probably you heard it here first. Okay. Yeah, nice. Red Cinema. Nice. Okay, Red Cinema. Nice. Yep. I dig that. So that's in the works. I do have some clients that I do video editing for. So that's kind of up under that umbrella. But yeah, I'm trying to expand. Yeah. Another you heard it here first. Okay. Which I'm still trying to work out the details. I'm super excited for it. Okay. Is that I'm looking to be able to get a 360 photo booth. Okay. To be able to do a full event. Yeah. Event parties. So when you say full, you mean you full, DJing? So it's DJing. Full. So we are able to, you come to us and we put on your event. So that's in the works that we're looking to put in the umbrella. Wow. And then also we're about to bring back our merch as well. So that's super fun. Yeah. Wow. No, that's dope because Mark had, which I don't know if you were part of that as well, but Mark had some nice merch that he would come out with, just in general, but also in line with the projects and things that he was working on. So of course, me not knowing the logistics on the back end, but
Yes.
you may or may not have been with that. So definitely, I'm excited for that as well.
Yeah.
So now I want to jump back, and then we're gonna hit those different pieces accordingly. But you said that having your daughter on the intro, if you will, saying the Reddtober was a legacy move. What do you mean by that?
So I would say, when we started Forever Free, we always had the mindset of, we want to make a company that our children can work at.
Okay.
And they can have whatever their passions are, could be house up under this, whatever it is. No matter how crazy it may seem, that they could just be right there. But for the legacy moment, it's more so of like, every time she hears one of my songs or one of my beats, she knows that's her, and she remembers like, oh no, I was a part of this. My son, he often comes to many shows with me, so like he knows, okay, I'm a part of this. Like, no, this is not just my company. This is for y'all. Like, I want y'all to take over. So just building that up and kind of instilling in them like, no, this is yours. This is yours.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, when we pass away, it's up to y'all to do whatever y'all want to do.
Now, where would you say, which is also great, what you just said, where would you say your dad's influence played to the part of what you're doing right now with your kids? Obviously, him taking you to studios and things like that was a moment. Yeah. Now you're taking your son to shows, having your daughter on tracks and things like that. Like, have you ever saw a mirror like, oh snap, like I'm doing what he did and doing it myself?
Yeah, absolutely. And he's always taught me to like, hey, you need to like leave something for your children. Like, leave something. Which I know my parents, they worked hard. Right now they're not working, which glory to God.
Like, man,
because
he knows what we need. He knows. Your mom was a teacher, right?
My mom was a teacher.
Yeah.
Yep. She was a teacher. She in 2017 she had like a mini stroke that kind of disabled her, but who knew? 3 years later we had the pandemic, and I needed her to be a teacher again. Wow. Yeah. So
at home she was.
So she
with them kids.
With the kids.
Teaching again. Wow.
And so yeah, God definitely knows right on time.
Very true.
But just he's definitely like, nah, you gotta leave. You want to leave something, and I feel that his talks from like Pastor Poe, when he's had talks with Pastor Poe, and then it's just him spilling it down to me. Yeah, it's just like, nah, you gotta leave something. So like, always keep that in the forefront of your mind. Like, whenever you're making something, like, think about your kids. Think about your kids. So.
No, that's good. And for those that don't know, Pastor Poe is a phenomenal man.
Yes.
Phenomenal man of God. My father-in-law, the man that he and his wife, Pastor Deborah, birthed Revealing Truth Ministries, which is a church that we work at and go to, and things in which you've heard him talk about. So, I'm not just going to let that pass. I definitely put a link down to Revealing Truth Ministries so that you can check out not only him and the different things that he's taught, but the legacy that he's left with our very own Pastor Brian being our pastor, which is his son, my brother-in-law, and things like that. So, it's legacy wrapped up in everything that is done. And even Wood, he was even talking about legacy. So, obviously it's things that we talk about, I talk about as well. So, you talk about what you hear and you do what you see, right? And even you doing what you see, what your father, what he's done and things like that. It's beautiful just to watch, even from the sidelines, right? But more than anything, allowing for them to get to see it in the forefront. Them seeing you produce, seeing you DJ and things like that. So, in the umbrella of the entertainment company, you also have released projects, right? So, let's talk about them.
Yes, so released 2 beat tape EPs.
Boom.
The first one, Enough.
Yes.
Yeah. That one was scary because that was the first one I put out for my it was me. Yeah. Like, it wasn't just producing for somebody. It's just like, nah, I'm actually stepping out as an artist. So like, I switched over from just producer to actual artist. Yeah. So it was a little nerve wracking. Yeah. But it was definitely one of that EP was created in probably like some of the darkest moments of my life, like going through everything I was going through with my kid's mother. That was my outlet, like producing. And that EP actually talks about vulnerability and just being open and vulnerable to being who you are, accepting who you are. That's what the whole title, Enough. Like, you are enough. And just being open to knowing that that's who you are.
So tell me this, how does I forgot the title that you gave it, but how does a album with no words talk a certain message?
Yes, so it was through titling and then also there's a little samples through it. Okay. Very subtle samples that you hear. Because
I will say it's therapeutic, right? Because even when I heard it and even shared it with you, like that was music that I would listen to while in the sauna, which is where I do a lot of my meditating and praying. I was listening to it there, and it was definitely therapeutic. I was able to relax and just hear God and drown out the excess noise and things like that. So for me, it was therapeutic, right? But then for you, as you talked about it, it had a deeper meaning. So
yes. So and every beat tape I really try to
beat tape.
Beat tape. Yep. So not a mixtape, beat tape.
Beat tape. I'm with you now.
Or you can call it instrumental project. It has various names. Okay. But with that particular one, I chopped up like there's some type of podcast, or not podcast. It was a TED Talk. Okay. That just touched me. I was like, okay, perfect. I'm gonna just formulate these in a certain area as the beat is going, but there's a message that kind of ties through it. So it seems very distant because like the words are like faint. But that's true. It's there. It's there, and then when you actually start to listen to it, you're like, oh.
Right, now that you said I am hearing words. Okay. Okay. It's just not as pronounced as other, songs and things like that are.
And it's meant to just that particular one was definitely meant to just therapy. That's literally what it was meant.
It's definitely that. Now where is that located for those that are listening? And like, wait a minute, what are y'all talking about?
Everywhere. Okay. Streaming, because I realized when I said everywhere, somebody started saying, "Oh, it's at Target." I'm like, all right, let me specify.
That streaming
everywhere.
So meaning digital.
So your iTunes, your Apple Music, Spotify,
SoundCloud,
Tidal,
things like that.
All of those. Yeah. Okay. All of the digital streaming, literally everywhere.
Boom. Pandora. Hello.
There's so many that I didn't know until I actually started distributing music. I'm like, oh, okay. That's
right. Even podcasts. I didn't realize there's so many podcast platforms, but I'm like, yeah. I'm glad there's a company that knows about all of them.
Right, that's it. I'm gonna see you.
You do your job.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So that was that one.
So that's enough. Okay.
That's enough.
Which came out when?
That came out 2020.
2020, gotcha.
So May 2020, and it was on purpose. So, which you're gonna see a thread. Okay. May 2020. Obviously, that's 2 months into the shutdown. And which I didn't know when I was producing it, that like my mind was we was about to shut down. My mind was always thinking like, because I had finished it. I finished the first 2 tracks, or the last 2 tracks on that project a year ahead. It was in 2019 that I finished those 2. And then the last song I finished at like the end of 2019. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to put this into a project. And I was like, all right, let me pick a date. And I'm like, let me do May. Because in May, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. True. So I'm like, I want to drop something for Mental Health Awareness Month. But then I'm like, that worked even perfect. Like, it's in the middle of
talk about mental health, man. Like, we were shut down.
I'm like, okay, this is perfect. Giving people just something to relax to release their minds from all the craziness that's happening, worrying about COVID. Yeah. Not saying you still can't worry about COVID, but I mean, Florida don't be.
Right. Very true. Burns in the sun or something like that.
Right, yeah.
But to your point, giving you something to take your mind off of. Yeah. the headlines, the news, the chitter chatter, and things like that. Like I said, it was doing for me. It did for me. While in the sauna and things like that, I was able to, as you know, we go to the same gym when you do go. But in the gym, do you go to the sauna?
I do.
Okay,
I do.
so
I have to hit it every time.
Right, so you can still hear the outside noise and things like that. But when I would listen to the music, oftentimes I would be by myself, and so I would just play it through the phone. But it drowned out that, so it was a way to buffer the side noise. So it did what it needed to do, especially for me. And so for those that tap in and tune into it, it'll do it for them as well. So that was enough.
Yes.
March 2020.
Yes.
Now we have a project that just came out.
Yes.
2022.
2022.
Was that in May too?
May, yep.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, okay, I see what you're doing.
Yep.
Talk to us.
And that's Free Into the Night. Which was interesting is that title actually came before Enough.
Okay.
But I knew that wasn't that project. And I'm like, okay, I want to make a project that's like almost a lullaby, but it's not a lullaby, but it's like something that like kind of frees you into it. So it was interesting. Okay. The first track that was actually produced was the last track.
Oh. And I'm going to say I like that one the most. I ain't going to lie to you. That one. And it sucks. It'd be funny, right? My bad cutting you off, but it sucks because it's like when it hits, it finishes, I'm like, oh man, we're ready for the next one. Yeah. Then it goes to some random thing because it's at the end. It goes to another album or track. But no, go ahead.
Yeah, so the last song on that project is... I have Stillwater Peace. And that one I would say is like the lullaby. If you would think of a lullaby. Like, in my mind, like, okay, if I was to ever create a lullaby as best as my ability, that's what I would hear. So I made that one first, and I was like, okay, I want something that literally can wind you down. And the whole purpose was to literally free your mind.
Yeah.
I would say for me, I've had a lot of thoughts attack me more so at night than during the day. And so like sleeping was a thing. Getting on like 2-3 hours of sleep because your mind's just going everywhere.
Yeah,
that was a whole thing. So like I want to create a track or create a project that can actually like it takes you down. Like you can feel the tempo adjusting. Going down. So I was like, okay, perfect. Free Into the Night. Let's get it. And then I was like, okay, I want to do something different than I did before. I was like, let me get Miss Randy.
Yeah.
Randy J. Shout out to Randy J.
Randy J.
Let me get her on the project to just go ahead and just add some flares into this. And she killed it.
Which, as she would. I mean, shouts out to Miss Randy. For those who don't know Miss Randy, she is a phenomenal woman of God. Has a wonderful voice, right?
Yes.
Known as the mouthpiece of God in the sense where when she speaks, you can feel heaven's presence. She does spoken word. She does singing and things like that. But I mean, it's a beautiful marriage, right? Yeah. That you did there on the track, right? She's a married woman, so it wasn't outside of it. But with the music, I like clarity. With the music itself, it was just beautiful to put you two together. So yeah, talk about that. How did that happen?
So I literally came out and said, Miss Randy, I got a crazy idea for you. Like, I just need you to rock with me.
Yeah.
I was like, so I got this project I'm working on. I want you to be on it. She was like, okay, yes.
Just like that.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Like,
nice.
She was like, no, the Holy Spirit just told me to say yes. I was like, all right, cool, perfect. I get back with you, and then I started finishing up the beats, and then like scoping out what the songs are gonna be and like what everything means. Because I had like different records. Like I'm trying to piece records. This project was weird because it wasn't like a cohesiveness of like I knew I'm producing for this project. It was like I just sat down one day and I was like, oh man, all these will go well together. I was like, okay, cool, this is it. This was it. This was Free Into the Night. Perfect.
Wow. Oh, that's beautiful.
And so it worked. And I was like, okay, so let me go in and then just continue to produce.
Yeah.
because I had like the shell of most of the records, but had to go in and finish producing. Which I did I would say the brunt of it back last summer.
Wow.
I had the privilege of going to see my brother Benjamin
Nice.
Smith graduate.
Yep. Shouts out to you, Ben.
Shouts out to
Salute.
you, Ben.
Pun intended.
Yes, sir. I see him graduate, but I stayed like an extra day up there just so I can have time to myself. Cause little kids.
We heard about it.
Yeah, so I stayed an extra day just to have that time, and I sat down. I pretty much produced all of it except for one track, which I did produce technically, but I switched it. I switched the first song on the project wasn't the original first song. So just you know, facts, weird facts. Miss Rainey, the background. Miss Rainey, she recorded to a whole different beat than what you hear.
Oh wow! But it still fit.
It fit perfectly.
You wouldn't know. Wow.
You wouldn't know. I was like, dang, this is crazy.
Wow.
It just worked out that way. But yeah, so finding like the names and for me, I was like, okay, this project has to mean. I'm just thinking like it has to step up. Like I wanted this project to be an affirmation. Like when I'm thinking about literally free my mind, how am I freeing it? Like I gotta like affirm some things, like really speak out some things to just come to my mind. So each song is an affirmation.
Ho, great people. This is another sponsor of today's podcast. It is Christians Deserve Orgasms 2, the book written by my lovely wife, Crystal Jones, in which she says on the back, Christians Deserve Orgasms 2 will equip Christians with tools to build intimacy, hygiene tips, and sex positions. Some you will want to try, and others you will determine aren't for you. By the end of the day, let's all at least agree to stop trying to bake cakes from scratch with no directions. You finally have a safe place to learn about sex. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I know you know somebody that is about to get married or is getting married or is in a serious relationship, and here's a book for them. Here's a book to help them so that once they make that transition, they are in holy, blissful matrimony, okay, the right way each and every time that they do link up, and this book will help them do so. So find it down in the link below, or you can find it on Amazon. Christians Deserve Orgasms 2. Now I'm on here, right? I picked up my phone to look at the track, we'll look at the album, the EP, the beat track, EP. Yep. Now I see there's a star by number 4, which is titled Our Release and Gang Restoration, which the star usually means like what people like.
Right.
Okay. So what went into that one? Let me like the one I like the most. So I can see the star move, but okay, love. I didn't even know that was there. Yeah. We'll recommend one. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so talk about that. Our Release and Gang Restoration.
Which is crazy enough. The last two people that I've known that I know, like Daniel George. Shout out to you, Daniel George.
Shout out to you.
I let him listen to it before it got released.
Nice.
And I asked him, I said, okay, so tell me what you think, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, so like, number 4 is it. He didn't know the name of it. He was like, number four is it. He was like, that's the one. And I was like, okay, cool. And then Miss Camille Callahan.
Nice. Shouts out to you.
Shout out to the Callahan.
To SC family.
Yes. She hit me up. She like, number 4, like that's Our Release and Gang Restoration. That's my favorite joint. I was like, wow, that's crazy. That is crazy. 'Cause that was.
So I know my competition now.
That was the second one. Actually, I would say like produce or that to give that lullaby thought. But I was like, man, I really want to switch it up. Which that was, I would say, probably the funnest one to produce. Okay. Because it has a switch up in it.
Yeah, true.
That I was like, yeah, this is
what I want.
This is what I want.
Okay.
But the meaning behind that one is simply just, you know, not only, I know a lot of people hear about like casting your cares. Yeah. And sometimes people just stop at that point and like just the release part, but like, no, God actually, he came to restore. Yeah. Like when you're releasing, it's not just a release and nothing coming back.
Vacant, yeah.
You're not going to be just empty. Yeah. Like he comes to restore it. Like, yeah. He empties you out to fill you back up again.
Which is good, right? Because if I could talk Bible a little bit, that's very good that you're saying it, because now I'm even playing back scriptures I read, which one of them that like, I was dealing with for a while is the one where like it was talking about how you cast out a spirit or an enemy or a devil and things like that, and it goes away, but it comes back with 7 times that of itself to then take place in residence of itself. I'm like, wait a minute, like hold on. If I stop doing evil, it's gonna be 7 times the evil that's to come. But no, that you are now speaking to the remedy to that thought for those that may even be reading that scripture. Like, no, when you cast, there's something that's coming that's gonna feel, and so
and for if you was going on Instagram, what you're gonna see, like I have scriptures for each one,
each track,
nice. And some of them have multiple, which I'm not gonna say I memorize all of them.
You good.
I'm not that guy.
But you'll see it on Instagram.
You can see it on Instagram. But I know for that particular track, in the regards to like releasing and gang restoration, you know, the Matthew 11. You know, I'm gonna say that's what it is.
You can read the whole book.
You'll find it. But it's simply talking about he's gonna give you rest, and he's gonna restore. Like he's restoring you. He's gonna give you a good life. Like you're gonna learn the unforced wisdom of grace.
Yeah.
Like this is what you do. Like once you go through the pattern, which we can actually go. If we got time, so like it's going from the mindset of like first,
and this is the latest album.
This is the latest album.
Talk about it.
So like you starting off, I am free.
Yeah,
and it's you literally think like you have to affirm that like who the sun sets free is free indeed.
Absolutely,
that's what this shirt is indeed.
Yes, nice.
So whom the sun sets free is free indeed, and that's actually like our foundational scripture for forever free.
Nice.
That's what we live and breathe by. So it's that constant affirmation like, oh, I got victory in everything I do. Like I've already got the victory because I already have the freedom. So starting off with that mindset, and then you're going into the mind of like, I'm gonna be all right. Like I will be all right because I already know that God has good plans for me. I know He got good works for me. Like it may not seem to be, and even the scripture says like rejoice in those moments that you have like tribulation, because correct. It's only saying that like it's about to be something good on the other side. Like you want to rejoice in because it's only gonna build up your endurance. You rejoice. So like I'm all right. Like okay, cool. I'm more than my broken pieces, which like that's a big one. Like a lot of people are so focused on flaws and dealing with even in today's society where a lot of people share more than I personally do, but they're out there on social media, and like it's easy to compare yourself with a whole nother human from across the country that you don't even know.
You may never ever meet, and
then you start to build these flaws because you're not like them, or you see that, or you might even look at your people that you are around. Like say we're at church and you look at me like, oh man, he's doing this, he's doing that, and like, bro, no, like you have to run your own race. But you're starting to build these flaws, like, oh, I can't speak like him, or I can't do what she does, and so you're starting to build up these your own limitations,
and stopping you from what you can really do. Right? Because if you were to ask the people, the ones that are good, right? If you were to ask the people like, man, how do you do what you do and are how you are, they'll probably tell you, I don't know, I'm just doing it, or it's God at the end of the day. So no, I love that.
Which that's funny because like you said earlier, when I get on stage, it's like a totally different person. Yeah, I'm naturally quiet, and when I get on stage, it's like it's strange because I'm like, this ain't me. Like this ain't me. Yeah. But I get compliments after every time I go on stage, and like even like this past weekend, or night of worship and stuff, it was like, yo, like bro, you was good out there. I'm like, oh really? Like that's crazy. Like in my own mind, I'm not like that. But then I also have to like, let me stop limiting myself.
Correct.
But also with broken pieces is also like the trauma that you've been through in your life as well. Like you can't let your trauma define you. You just use it to help move you forward, or I would say either move you forward and also learn from. Even if it's trauma that you never caused on yourself, because a lot of people have childhood trauma. I have best friends that have like deep childhood trauma, and I'm like, really my words to them is like, hey, this can either like motivate you to keep you going forward, or saying, hey, like I'm not gonna be like them, or it can hinder you, and like it's gonna hurt you inside, and it's gonna ultimately like kill you. Like either that's gonna be from drug abuse, that's gonna be from sexual abuse, from yourself. Like that's the thing, like sexual abuse to yourself.
That's good.
And like all of it. So it's like, hey, like no, like you have to push through, and you are more than your broken pieces. Like God has called you to be more. He has seen you to be more. You are His masterpiece. Like like you are His masterpiece. Like to be connected to the Creator that way, knowing like He's not done with you. Yeah. And like He has a story that He wants to tell through you. So that's what inspired that track, and then that's when we got to our release and gain restoration. Like okay, now I understood these things. I'm about to release all of that, but I know when I'm releasing, it's pouring back in. It's pouring back into me. Like he's giving me the right things. I remember doing an example one time of I call it the dirty cup example. Gotcha. Where you would pour in like dirt inside like a clean glass of water. Yeah. And that would just represent like just us, like how we would look from all of our thoughts, ways, sins, all of it. This is what we would look like. And then when we allow God to take over our life, He doesn't just empty out the dirty cup, or He doesn't just empty out the dirty cup. Like He gives you a new cup and fill you up, like, and it's just that powerful. Knowing that, like, He literally will make you new and whole again. Once you just release it all to Him, and then once you get that restoration, you gonna ultimately feel peace. Yeah. And that's where I have still water peace. Like, waters are just still and calm. That's what I'm at. Yeah. It's possible.
I think it's heavenly. Very true. Very true. Now, with that, knowing now that you have, which, artists do, but you don't always get to hear the stories behind and the means behind the tracks, right? It's not just music that's put out, but it's something behind the different things that you're releasing. So what also has gone into the thought behind your album covers? Because they're not the norm, right? No. Especially this one, the latest one, that was... It caught me, right? Yep. But nonetheless, what goes into the artwork?
So shouts out to Selena. If I mispronounce your names, I'm so sorry.
You said enough. Selena. Can we call her just Selena?
Yep, Selena.
Okay.
She is an amazing artist.
Okay. Amazing I saw artist. You posting some of her work.
And when we started on the journey for Enough, once we made that cover, I was like, okay, for every instrumental project I put out, she's doing the cover art.
Hands down, that's just what it is.
Hands down is what it is. And I would love for it to always be, so there's very subtle buybacks. So like, if you would notice on the correlation between the two.
Okay. Do your thing.
When on Free Into the Night, in the middle of the hands, there's like this circular gold, like this, that. That is pretty much similar to the circular.
I see what you did there.
Of the Enough title.
I see what you did there.
But the Free Into the Night is that you're the inspiration behind it is this chase of you're trying to get to that freedom. That circular, that hand reaching out is really God's hands that's getting you to this freedom. But you're on this chase. You're on this constant wave of trying to get to your mind's trying to race to get to freedom. Okay. And as you see with the clocks, this is very, very different. If you it can. I would love to see it visualized.
I didn't even notice the clock.
So the clocks they have numbers on it. The numbers are actually in the sky for the clocks. But that just represents the time that gets wasted so quickly when you're racing through your mind.
That's
so much.
That's awesome. In this chase, in this pursuit.
In this pursuit that you're trying to find freedom, and it's like the freedom's in His hands.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. And I'm just taken back now in appreciation of what you did, right? Because I'm gonna be honest, when I did it, when I downloaded the track or whatnot, or the instrumental EP, because you just said that, I got it and I hit play. I just been hitting play from there, right? I saw it, but I didn't really look at it. And when I saw the top, I just thought it was musical instruments, musical notes. I just thought that's what it was. So I never even just like looked at it. But now seeing numbers, it's like, oh snap! Everything that you're saying is definitely visually here. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay,
yeah, she did a.
But she did that.
She did.
So did you communicate this to her?
Yes.
Or,
so,
okay.
Yeah, we have like a whole sit down and we talked through, which was interesting because like I didn't have the music yet to like give to her to like.
Oh, wow.
So like the first one, she was able to kind of vibe off of the music. I had the music ready at that time. I was like, hey, this is the music before it goes into mixing. Like, just try to like. Work away. But with this one, I came in with the concept like this is what I'm thinking.
Gotcha. Without the music.
But without the music.
Nice.
Like, the music
so
was
a different
still,
approach.
Yeah, like I've had this cover art for a while prior to the music being done. So she really
knocked it out.
Did it. She did it. And yeah, it was an interesting process, but we talked through it. And she understood exactly where I was at. We was on the same wavelength. And yeah, I was like, no, that's it. Because she gives like multiple different drawings. Like, oh, maybe look at this. Maybe look at that. I'm like, no, that one that you did. Let's just expand this. And it was.
So as an artist, like, how is it working with other artists? Are you more sensitive to the approach?
So me personally, I'm an artist that allow you to be you. I feel like that you're gifted to do what you do. If I can do what you can do, then I wouldn't need you.
Nice.
So I would give you what I want in a sense, but I'm always like on a collaborative tip where like, no, I want to know what you feel. Like, I know I'm paying you, but I want to know what you feel and what you're thinking of how this flows.
Yeah.
So working with her is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, she is hands down. Hands down. I know when I get my house, she about to do all my stuff.
All your artwork. But she already have 2 pieces that you can expand to a bigger canvas, however you want to choose to do that, right? Yeah. 2 albums, things like that. Okay. So last but not least, as it pertains to the music itself that you put out yourself, what are things that you want people to experience? Now, I definitely have an idea of what you wanted to experience with Enough, but with the latest project, what do you want the takeaway experience to be?
So for this project, if you don't receive anything else, is to know that there's freedom in God. Like this one, I definitely didn't shy away from that at all. And that the only way that you're gonna combat any type of mental problems is literally getting in contact with the Creator.
There it is.
And that's pretty much it. Like you that's the only way. Like mental health is real. Like I'm not a person that shies away from mental health. Yeah. And there are therapists that they're Christian therapists. True. And like, yes, you can get I'm very avid about like going to therapy. Like, yes, you should definitely do it. It's obviously getting in contact with the right therapist. But also knowing that, like, no, you have a direct connection to the Creator, and, like, that's going to help you. And it's not saying that your mental issues would just go away, because that's not going to happen. Not how it happens. We're still in the world. Yeah. So we're still, conform to the things that's here. We don't live by it, but we still here. Yeah. Susceptible to all of the things that the enemy throws our way. And if you look on the headlines every single day now, there's something that can get your mind going. You can't even walk in the grocery store to think the same anymore. Like,
that's very true. So I don't wonder if it's gonna be recalled or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. No. So you have to. That's the whole point of that project. It's like, in the midst of the night, for those that can't sleep because they have so much blockage, but it's not even just at night, but if definitely for the ones that are at night. If you have this blockage, this project is here to clear your mind, free your soul.
Yeah. I dig that. I love everything about that. That is awesome. So, not only do you create music, but you also play music as a DJ, right?
Yes.
And so, now as a DJ, which a phenomenal DJ, fun DJ, what would you say your style is? And, number 2, do you travel? Are you open to traveling outside of Tampa?
So, I've DJ'd outside of Tampa.
Okay.
I would say that. Not on more on a performance DJ side. So for like Freeman, we've done shows in different states. I've done DJ work in Georgia. Okay. That was pretty fun. I think that was kind of like my first, not my first gig. My first gig was actually here in Tampa as an official DJ.
Gotcha.
Nervous.
Okay.
I was like,
It was all on you.
It was all on me. I'm like, oh snap, this ain't me.
Yeah.
Because even when I got my DJ board, which I started off with a small little board, small beginnings.
That's it. Don't despise them.
Don't despise them. It was only with the intent, like, oh man, Mark needs a DJ. Like, we need to have a DJ, and I'm like, I might as well just go ahead and do it. Like, I know the tracks. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Never thinking that it was gonna venture off to actually being a solo DJ. And I got my first gig for an event from one of my friends, and she was like, no, you gonna do it. I'm like, no. But it's fun. So I haven't done a lot outside of Tampa in terms of solo DJ.
Yeah. But you're open.
But I'm open. I'm definitely open.
Now, what would you say your style is?
Ooh, that is.
Even if it's a thing, I don't even know if it's a thing or not.
I would say it's definitely a thing.
Okay.
Man, I don't even know what to put a finger on it, honestly. Because I can do a party, I can do weddings, which I've done both.
Gotcha.
Done party, weddings, events.
Shows.
I haven't ventured off into a solo show DJ though.
Okay.
Like that's a whole different.
Gotcha, like a DJ Khaled type scenario.
Right, when you go into like festivals and all that. That's on a different caliber. Haven't got there yet. Definitely, I would definitely venture off to that.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more focused on the crafting of DJing.
Gotcha.
That I haven't put time into yet. But
you have 4 kids.
Yep.
Hello. We talked about it before.
Yep. So, but yeah, man, I would say probably. I mean, one of my biggest inspirations is DJ Wood. Like, like he took me under the wings, DJ Wood.
Nice.
To really help me get my groove in. But what's crazy enough is I can remember. This is gonna take you back.
Okay.
I was at my dad. This all goes back to my dad. It's crazy.
Respect. That's how it works.
Shouts out.
Hello. Again.
We DJ'd.
You and him.
Right. So he used to get hired to like do sound and stuff like for like different people's event. I remember I forgot. It was a lady actually went to our church. She had her daughter had an event at like some pool recreation center or something like that. So he brought out like a little set, and he had, it wasn't a turntable, but it was multiple like tape CD decks.
Okay.
So we would just like figure out music and do CD decks like that, and like
changing it like that,
and I was like,
at a time.
I was like,
wow.
I didn't realize that like that was like my early DJ moments.
Yeah.
And then what I would also do back in my CD days, for all you new generation kids that don't even rock with CDs or don't know what I'm talking about. Back when iTunes was just with just putting audio and stuff.
Facts.
You know, I used to make mixtapes from the different CDs that I've had.
Yep.
So I used to like, okay, no, I need this song to go here. I need to go here and go like this, not knowing that later down the line I'm literally making. Being a DJ, like this is literally what I do.
Wow.
Making sure that song's going at the right moment.
No, that's dope. As you shouted out Wood, I had to look back because he told me on Tuesday that his DJ name has changed.
Oh.
Right, and so I had to go look it up on Instagram. His now DJ name is Dat Man DJ Wood. So it's 4 names, you know what I'm saying?
Wow. See, I heard it here first.
It's
so
I'm just
that
saying,
man,
that's
DJ
it.
Wood.
That man, DJ Wood. Shouts out to you, but
Yes.
even love it as you even explained the roots of you DJing and, you know, getting your early start, which is cool. Shouts out to your dad again, I mean, because again, it's just another symbolic story showing how, as we are birthed and grown up and raised by, in our cases, our fathers, we can see ourselves not only growing through what we did with them, but also doing what they did as well to our children and things like that. So, I mean, I love that and definitely have seen that commonality in all of the different stories that I've done so far. But also, you know, talked about the one-stop shop for a party. Yeah. And so, you know, even with the 360 and things like that coming out, so that's going to be fun. So even if people were to reach out to you to do a DJ gig and things like that, they could get that too.
Right.
That time will be there.
That's the whole goal that we're working towards is that for weddings or parties, like we're one-stop entertainment.
Boom. You don't need to call 2 people.
You don't need to call 2 people.
Maybe 3. No, you call me because you also do lighting as well.
I do lighting
as well. So, I mean, all of those things will look right and be right. Now, he didn't do this lighting. If y'all looking at it as like, I don't like what I see, he didn't do this, so don't hold this against him. This is a Rickey set, okay? But he definitely does lighting at our church. If you watch any of the clips from Revealing Truth Ministries, any of the services, this man has put his hand, well, I won't say any. There was a time period where you started to now, okay? Anything from this year, okay? And specifically this year, last year, and the years go back, but I just want to keep it in a pocket. Yeah. This man was a part of it and things like that, so definitely, no, I love that. Now, before we end, I do want to ask, is there any advice that you would like to share or give to fathers out there that we hadn't touched on?
I would say, as a father, I would say probably it's gonna sound very common, but it's so true, is that your kids are always watching. They're always watching. So always be mindful, and being mindful of the character that you're wanting your kids to see, because they're always watching.
That is very true.
And they gonna repeat, and they gonna remind you.
So true.
And it sounds so cliche, but it is definitely the most true thing I have noticed. Facts. And it will be years down the line. It blows my mind how much they can still remember. And I'm like, oh. Okay. Okay.
Y'all were there. Y'all were paying attention.
Y'all were paying attention.
Right.
Oh, okay. So that's definitely something I would definitely say. And the other two is, you know, one that I have to remind myself is not take things so seriously.
Gotcha. That's good.
Not take it so
That's
seriously.
Good. That's a tough one, but a real one.
Oh man, I'm a stickler for rules.
That's good.
And structure at my house.
Very true.
But then there's moments where I'm like, I gotta let them be them. I gotta let them be kids. I gotta let them grow. I gotta just let them. Yeah, just gotta not be so serious.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I'm like that too, so I get it. Especially like cleaning up and things like that. Like, people make messes, right? Yeah. But, you know, so we ain't gonna talk about me, we're talking about you. What are the various ways in which people can get in contact with you to do the various things that you even talked about that you do?
Yes, so Instagram, which is at Reddtober, Reddtober.
Boom.
My Instagram is my playhouse. So like, if you need to contact me, you can contact me through there. I do have a link tree that's in my bio that has all of my catalog. There's a contact button. It does work on my Instagram.
Respect.
So literally, you go to my Instagram. That's the one-stop shop to get in contact with me.
Nice.
And then go, if you're looking for all my music content, that's through that link tree in my bio.
And you can look up...
Or you can look up Reddtober.
Correct.
On all your streaming platforms. It's going to be there. It's only one. It's just me.
Same way for the Instagram.
Same way for the Instagram.
Same way it's spelled, I should say.
Yep, same spelling. On most, I would say, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Reddtober, Reddtober.
2 D's. Hello. Yep. That'll be him.
Yep.
Gotcha. So definitely tap in, tune in, and just engulf yourself in the greatness that he has presented and created by the help of God, right?
Yes.
And I even love now knowing how those things came about through, in some cases, traumatic moments, and were tools used to get you out of them. So they as well can be for you, be it mental health month, but also just those days in which you need to be free, you need to be clear, you need to have sleep. You need to be reminded that you are enough, that you have enough already within you. But we ain't going to get into that too much. You can listen to it yourself. You definitely have to let him know, let us know the experiences you had based off of the music that he has created. So with that being said, Jovan, man, I appreciate. So I call him Jovan as well. Really, that's like the real name. I call him Jovan with the idea of Zaytoven, the music producer in Atlanta. Y'all know I'm from Atlanta, so you know, just gelled the two together.
Phenomenal producer.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Gucci wouldn't be Gucci without Zaytoven.
Nope.
Truth be told. I don't think Gucci would ever see this, but if you do,
hey,
it is what it is.
It's true.
Burr. Okay. But at the end of the day, Jovan, I appreciate you, man. I thank you. I'm sure the people do thank you as well. Definitely let us know in the comment section below. One, if you made it this far, but then two, if you enjoyed what you did see.
Yes.
And we'll definitely, if you have any questions, we're here. He's on Instagram. You can definitely let him know and, you know, get those questions answered and things like that he may be able to speak to based off of the dynamics that you may have that is also similar to his. So, in it all, with it all, I appreciate you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And we'll definitely have to do this again.
Absolutely.
All right, now. Ho, ho, Nelly. Hit her with a stick. That came from a video game. I don't even know. Anyway, but nonetheless, hit it all. Shouts out to you, JT. Thank you, sir, for such a phenomenal outpouring of who you are, what you bring to the table, and the life that not only that you got to experience through your father, but then also the life that you're also giving and sharing with your kids, which is just beautiful. Just how that thread of what's taking place in the home is then being lived out in the father, but then also passed on to the child, like we've seen it twice so far. But nonetheless, in it all, man, God is so good. And hey, fathers, all that to say, there's still a chance, there's still opportunity. Do what you can do to be the father that you so also desire to be for your kids, and knowing that your kids do need. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into the last segment of this here episode, which is Boom or Buzz, which I'm also excited about this one. So that may already let you know what the rating is going to be. And this so happens to be, ladies and gentlemen, these are called cornbread toaster tops. Now, if you have not gone to Publix, bless yourself. Okay, I've only seen these at Publix. I have not seen these at Walmart. They may, I don't even know. No, I don't know. But anyway, at Publix, they have these here. Okay, there's only 2 left, so to let you know something in itself. But nonetheless, these things will bless you dearly. Okay, now I'm not really a bread person, really not even a cornbread person. But these, my friend, and you know, people, this is what you want. This is what you want in your life today, tomorrow, and the day after that. Man, you could put these things in a toaster, which they even have a toaster on the front of the here packaging. But nonetheless, in all, you can put it in a toaster, do however you want to do your toast. However you toast your toast that way. And you can do this cornbread just that way. And it's just like a little bit of sweet too. You know, I like my cornbread a little sweet. Okay, it doesn't have to be cakey cake, but I do like a little, you know, sugar in the batter. Okay, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, in all, this will give you that. And I promise you, once you start buying these, it's going to be hard for you to stop. And honestly, you don't want to just keep buying them because it is bread, okay? And we know what bread does to the body. However, what this will do to your taste buds is worth a boom, ladies and gentlemen. It is a boom, diggity, boom, 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 okay? Boom, okay? But nonetheless, I do recommend this to everybody that has a Publix near them. For those that don't, I apologize. They may ship. Definitely look into that. Okay, I'm gonna say it's worth it. But at the end of the day, when you get it to you, pop them in the toaster that day, okay? And don't wait till after then. But in it all, with it all, shouts out to you, Publix, man. You know, like I said, one of these days we're gonna start having sponsored booms or busts, and we'll have some fun with those as well. But in it all, with it all, I appreciate you all for rocking with me thus far, this long into the episode. Well, now we're at the end, so you know it's always hard for me to say goodbye, but it's not goodbye. It's until next time, because I will be back with another gentleman, another father, another male that you want to learn from, listen to, and get some ideas from. You know, a little dribble. It's it's gonna come down, and I want you to definitely pick it up and run with it. So with that being said, I love you all, great people. I appreciate you all. Have a phenomenal day, phenomenal weekend, phenomenal month, a phenomenal life, okay? And I see you as we live life to the fullest, okay? All right, peace, y'all. Love you.